Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Wide Eye Sports Podcast. Before we get started, please go down, give us a like, give us a share, give us a follow, all that good stuff. And we are at 75% capacity today. We have, of course, as always, Bryn hosting. We got your boy Dalton. We got your boy Spoon. We're just missing Riley today. He couldn't make it to the show. But we still have a jam-packed show for you nonetheless. We're going to go over about 20 different games that me and the boys want to see this upcoming season, because allegedly the schedule release for the NFL will come Thursday, which at the time of recording is 2 days, but whenever you're listening to this will be tomorrow. So that's not an official thing, but there is 90% odds next week we'll be talking about the exact dates of NFL games. So how you boys been doing?
Good.
Yeah,
You doing good?
man. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know why.
I was gonna let you speak first. I'm doing great,
All
man. Stars
All
play
good.
tonight. Got a
Yeah.
big hockey game to go to. I'm excited, so I'm feeling great.
By the time everybody listening to this, you'll know if Spoon is really happy or if Spoon is really depressed, because the Stars game is tonight, Tuesday the 7th, and this won't drop until 5 a.m. Wednesday morning. So let's just hope that y'all can just have a happy Spoon by then. But
What,
we're gonna hop-
what are they? What are they at? Is it game one or game two or?
It's game one of the second round.
Okay, bet. Who are they playing?
Colorado.
Okay.
Sweet.
Excited. We already beat the defending champions, so
Yeah, you know what happened to the last team that beat the defending champions in the first round?
what?
They got beat by the Dallas Stars in the second round.
Well,
It was the Seattle Kraken last year. We beat the Avalanche. All right, but we're going to get things underway with the NFL pre-schedule release. So we're just going to, we'll chop this up into bits. I got a question for the boys. I got a comparison for the boys. But let's get started with week one and what we know. We know that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a game on Thursday night, week one at home. And here are the slotted opponents they could have. Now, obviously, the Raiders, Chargers, and Broncos, because they play all three of those teams at home every year. All three possibilities. The Saints and the Bucks are the two NFC teams they face at home this season. Possibilities. Now, these next three teams, I think, are the likely three candidates. Now, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, and we know that rivalry with Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, and those two Goliaths going at it, and that it was Burrowhead for a little bit. I think was he 3-0 in Arrowhead, Joe Burrow?
I think he started out 3-0.
He's 3-1 now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or 3-2, something like that. The next most likely is the Baltimore Ravens AFC Championship game rematch, just at Kansas City this time. I don't think it'll make, I don't think it'll take the bitter taste out of the Ravens' mouth, but, it may make them feel just a little bit better going into Arrowhead, possibly getting a dub.
Yeah.
And then my betting favorite for week one at Kansas City, the Houston Texans at Kansas City Chiefs. I think that is the most likely way to go. You have maybe the most improved team from last offseason and the most improved team from this season offseason. I don't see a world in which they don't boost this game to just week one. You got Stephon Diggs, you got Travis Kelce, you got CJ Stroud.
I mean, it would be a good game, but I don't see them putting that as a week one matchup. Like,
Why not?
Dude, they always want to get the NFL season started great. I could definitely see that one.
Yeah,
but
think about it this way. Think about it this way. The Detroit Lions were like the up-and-coming team last year, and who they played week one against the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
Now, when you say it like that, it makes sense.
It's like the fresh face team, you know what I mean? Like that team that's been not as good for some years, and now they're on the up and up, and so the NFL wants to put them out there. So I think
who are the good NFC teams that they play? Because they might go that route again.
at home, it's just the Saints and the Bucks.
Yeah, they wouldn't put one of those games week one.
I mean, I doubt I'd be the Bucks if either of those two, but I doubt either
Yeah.
of those. I think the betting favorites would be Texas. would be Bengals, Ravens, Texans, and the Ravens AFC Championship game is obviously a thing. So that's a high-profile game. Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, anytime they play, is a high-profile game. And then the Texans are going to be scary this year, dude. That defense has gotten better. They added Danielle Hunter. They lost a few key pieces, but they added a few key pieces. And then you give C.J. Stroud a bona fide wide receiver 1 when he already had a bona fide wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
So, and then you add Joe Mixon into that. So you got 2 just stellar teams ready to rock and roll. So I think it's the betting favorite, but who knows? The other thing we know about week 1 for sure is that there will be a game played in Brazil.
I thought the Chiefs were the ones that had that. Was it not them?
Nope. It is Philadelphia and Green Bay.
That's right.
And they will play in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And the name of the team that plays in that stadium is escaping me, but there is a big
about the color.
Did you hear about
that? Yeah,
that's what I was going to tell everybody about. So there's a big rumpus being made in Brazil about the game because the main team that plays in the stadium they're going to play in, I think their colors are like red and black or something along those lines.
But
their rival, their number one rival's main color is green. And so they have a hard rule that there's no green allowed in the stadium. Like if you wear green to the game, they'll stop you at the entrance and tell you no. They'll be like, no, you're not allowed.
Really?
Yeah,
and
you're wearing green.
And ironically, both teams are green.
Bro, what are they gonna do?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows that
know.
they're just gonna make a one-time okay, it's not for soccer,
No,
so
dude,
we're gonna
here's
amend
what they
the rule.
do. Here's what the Eagles and the Packers do. First of all, though, what a nothing game that is. Can't wait to not watch that.
Can't wait to not watch that.
Second of all, it would be very cool if they came out with some alternate uniforms with no green on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just seems crazy to me.
Like international, like this year they come
That would
out
be
with
dope.
Some international.
Like the
uniforms
Packers
that
go
they come
yellow and white or something, and then the
Packers
Eagles
go all
like
white
black
with
and white or
yellow.
something.
All white with yellow logos.
Yeah,
And then
that'd
the
be cool.
Eagles go all black with white logos. That would be sick.
That would be sick.
There's no way they'll do it, and they're probably it's such a money machine that the NFL is probably should be like, listen, you can amend your rule for our game.
Well, that's what I mean, though. It's such a money machine. It's just more money for them. It's just more merch, you know.
I agree. I agree with you. I think it would be awesome. I don't think they'll go the extra mile for the fans and for everybody to do that.
I don't know if Blake listens to this podcast, but imagine a big dumb Green Bay fan like Blake, just having to have that cool new jersey.
Oh no, I get it. And if it was the Vikings and they did an all purple with white or an all purple with black, I would be all in, day of. So I don't know. I think it's cool. But like I said, I don't think the NFL is
not gonna happen.
Yeah, if it was the other way around and it was blue was the color not allowed and the Cowboys were playing and they had a silver and black jersey coming out, I'd be like, oh, I want that.
You could just be a Raiders fan and have that.
Okay, no.
No, I'm just kidding. All right. So that's what we know for sure. We know there's a few teams playing in London. We know a few other little things. But the Vikings, the Jaguars are speculated to maybe play back-to-back games in London again for the second straight year.
Yep.
And let me tell you right now, if that's the case, if any team plays back-to-back games across the pond, the second game they play in, bet that team money line. End of story. Bet it. As soon as the Jaguars had it happen to them last year, I said, who do they play? It was the Buffalo Bills. I put a reminder in my phone.
And I bet it with you.
To bet on the Jacksonville Jaguars the second week they were in London. And guess what? They beat the Bills in London because it's such an advantage having that extra time to adapt and be over there and have an adjusted sleep schedule and life schedule. It's such a huge advantage.
And I was going to say that they have it set up. You have the Vikings and the Bears both have international games in London. So they could easily set it up to where the Vikings stay 2 weeks or the Bears stay 2 weeks. They're the away game against the Vikings and they're the home team the next game to where the Bears will play 2 weeks in London. At the Bears money line. Done.
Is anytime you guys put any bets down this year, let me know. Okay? Let me know.
We got you. We'll bring the bet segment back.
If you feel good about it, I'll throw money on the same bet. But if you are this could go either way, I'll bet the other way.
I'm betting every day. I got like 6 bets going on right now.
We could honestly do a betting show at this point.
We need to, I just want to give a little shout out. I took the over in the Rangers A's game today. That's live right now. It was at 7.5 is what I got it at. There's 20 runs scored.
Jesus.
20 runs scored. I wish I would have went up a little bit and been like, oh, I'll take the over at 9.5 or something. But
oh my God.
Yeah,
but all right. We're getting
betting.
off track.
Yeah,
we're getting off track. We'll bring a bet segment back when the season rolls around. We'll get you guys taken care of. Don't worry. All right. But next up, we got just some games we're excited about. Just games straight up that we're excited to see. And I'm going to start the list off easy, kind of a low-hanging fruit. The Harbaugh Bowl, right? Ravens at Chargers. I mean, it's going to be a huge talking point. I would expect to see this as a Thursday night game because Ravens Chargers, either like
same
conference,
maybe Thursday, Monday night game, something like that.
I feel like it's a bit small for a Monday night game, but I definitely see it as a Thursday night game or maybe like America's Game of the Week on a Sunday afternoon. So
I feel like they don't really give a shit about Thursday night games anymore, like at all.
Well, I'm just saying, like, imagine a color rush between these two teams, or like a throwback.
I like Thursday night games, especially because Amazon really kind of makes those games fun, like low key.
Yeah, they got all the cool stats and stuff now. Hopefully, they just keep adding on to that stuff.
Exactly.
Next up, we have Kyle Shanahan, who is 0-4 against Andy Reid as a head coach, and you have the Kansas City Chiefs heading to the Bay Area to play the San Francisco 49ers in a Super Bowl rematch. And I promise you, the Niners are going to be hungry for that game. Now, Kansas City is Kansas City. You got Patrick Mahomes, but they're going to get the defending champs in their house in a revenge game, and I definitely expect to see that one on a Sunday Night Football game. I would be shocked if that's not like the week 4 Sunday Night Football game, right? Like early-ish in the season where it's still fresh Super Bowl. Both teams, one team struggles early, one team's on a roll, something like that.
Yeah, because you don't want to put it like week 16, week 15, and then who knows? Maybe they go back to the Super Bowl again.
Exactly.
That would suck. Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a beginning of the year game.
I would say first 8 weeks for sure, Sunday Night Football market.
Has that ever happened before where 2 teams were back-to-back, like where the same teams made it 2 years in a row?
I don't think so.
Cowboys and Bills did it, didn't they?
Did they 2 years in a row?
Actually, I think you're right.
I thought the Cowboys beat the Bills.
They may have. They may have. I'm not.
Maybe I don't know.
Sure
I'm not 100%. I don't know either. That's way before me. But
you could look up just look up Super Bowl history and scroll through those real quick. You could probably find it. But next up, I have another revenge game. Can you dig it? The Houston Texans are hosting the Buffalo Bills. Stephon Diggs gets a little revenge on the Buffalo Bills. And, I would take the Texans in this game right now. I don't know. We'll see, if it's week 12 and it's a noon game and Josh Allen tore his ACL 3 weeks ago. Who knows? But as of right now, I definitely take the Texans in this game, and I think Stephon Diggs is going to get a little revenge. Speaking of, the Texans, are they America's team?
No.
We're going to find out because they play the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. So that's the America's Team Bowl.
No, it's not the America's Team Bowl.
That's to decide America's team.
Okay, Brenner. Dallas Cowboys will always be America's team. Now, are they the best team in Texas? Are they the best team in Texas? No, definitely not.
I'm heavily outnumbered here.
Yeah, the last time it happened was 93-94, just letting you guys know, and it was Cowboys-Bills.
Okay.
Back to back. Anyway, the Cowboys are America's team.
I would like to know who decided that. I don't get to dub yourself America's team. Unless an outside force dubbed you guys that, which nobody else is aware of, I don't think you guys just get to call yourselves America's team anymore.
Okay, let's do an experiment then. Each of us should go out in public and just randomly interview people and go, excuse me, do you follow football? And if they say yes, you go, who is America's team?
Well, you guys have been calling yourself that for so long. People associate it with you, but that doesn't mean you are America's team.
I have no idea where it originated.
I could go around calling myself Superman for like 30 years, and everybody I meet be like, I'm Superman. And then somebody go up and be like, when you think of Superman, who do you think of? And they go, oh, Brenner. That doesn't mean I'm Superman. That just means
No,
I
it
call
doesn't.
myself Superman.
No, it totally does.
No,
That
it
does mean
doesn't.
you're Superman.
No. All right. Once again, getting off track here. The last one I'm going to do in this little snippet is the Hackett Bowl. Hackett Bowl 2, that is. So Denver at the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett get another shot at Sean Payton and the Jets. I don't know, Dalton, if you remember, but Spoon, I'm sure you do. There was that beef between Hackett and Aaron, or Hackett
we was
and the
robbed.
Broncos.
We was robbed of that game.
Yeah. So we're going to get it with Aaron Rodgers most likely this time around. So we'll see. We'll see.
You ready, Brenner? You ready?
I'm ready.
Most young fans don't know the story of how the Cowboys earned that nickname. It was not a Cowboys player or executive who came up with it, but rather NFL Films.
Okay.
The
Okay,
full
so
story,
NFL?
it was explained because whenever they made a video for the Cowboys, he noticed that many of their fans found their way to road games. And that's how we got the name.
Okay. All right. Fair
Traveled
enough.
with our team, and that's what it was. We were America's
Fair
team.
enough. Wait, I want to find out who the best traveling fans in the NFL are. I really want to. We'll look into that. We're gonna find out.
Now, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying I want to find out. So we'll find out. We'll look into that. We'll get you guys some information. But
I don't think it should automatically not be any team that's in like a shitty like Green Bay, because it's like obviously you would want to travel anywhere else to watch a football game.
see, I feel like
history, though.
I feel like it's going to be either the Packers, the Cowboys, the Bears. It's going to be like one of those teams because their fans are so intertwined everywhere else that they already live in those cities. So they don't necessarily travel well. They're just already there. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll look into it. We'll find out. We'll get you that information. But for now, I just dropped my pen. I want to talk to you guys. I have a question for you. Kind of an off-brand. I heard it on another podcast I was listening to. I had to get my pen. What is your guys' Mount Rushmore of the NFL schedule? So the top 4 dates on the NFL schedule, like year-round. So that includes free agency, the draft, week 1, playoff starting, divisional round, championship game round, Super Bowl, all of it. What is your top 4 or your Mount Rushmore of NFL schedule?
I think week 1 has to be on there because we wait so long for week 1 to come back. So that is just one of the best dates that, I mean, as a football fan, there is.
Absolutely.
Week 1 has to be on that list. Dalton, you have one that stands out?
I mean, Super Bowl, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to. It's like the you have to put it on there. Like there may be weeks that mean more to you personally, but that's the one that you have to put on there. Honestly, you know what one of mine is?
What?
Personally, the Hall of Fame game. It's the first nationally televised football game of the year. Now, it's a preseason game.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean as much to most people, but to me, oh, that's the creme de that. We are here, baby. We are back. We are ready to roll. I get so hyped for the Hall of Fame game every year because it's that first little, it's the appetizer on you. You set up this nice reservation at this 5-star restaurant. You got a hot date, and you show up, and it's the first appetizer. You're like, oh, this is so good. Like it's not the main course, but it's definitely there. I would say for me, it's the Hall of Fame game, week 1, the Super Bowl, and then I would say the draft.
I would probably change that. Like on mine, I'm not putting the Hall of Fame game on there.
Well, I know that's what I said me personally.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, I don't agree with the Hall of Fame game being on there. Even Roger Goodell came out and was like, "Oh yeah, the preseason's just kind of boring. Like nobody. That's why tickets are so
but
cheap.
it's
Nobody
so
wants
important.
nobody wants to go to them." And he was even talking about like maybe expanding the season, just taking away a couple preseason games, adding an extra.
Well, I think
like
they should do
They should definitely do that.
Preseason games altogether, and I think they should do the joint practices, and I think they should televise the joint practices as part of like the NFL Sunday Ticket. You buy that early, and then you can watch your team's scrimmage on that day if you really want to watch it that bad.
Yeah, and then just take away preseason, add an extra
That's what I would do.
You can add an extra week. You can add an extra bye week for each team. That way, with the extra game coming in, they at least have an extra week to take a break during that. But we at least get an extra week of football. Like that's
I would
non preseason football, and that's what I would love. But no,
I'd
man,
be down.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I'd be down.
Oh, I was saying I'd probably do Super Bowl week 1, the first week of the playoffs, the divisional round. I love that. And then
the wild card round, you mean?
Or the wild card, yeah, not the divisional. I'm sorry. Probably the wild card round, and then probably the draft.
Yeah, no, that's a great top 4. It's a great Mount Rushmore.
I love the wild card. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, got some good upsets in the wild card round every year.
Yep.
Dal, anything you got to add?
No, man. It really isn't a lot. I definitely feel like you could make an argument like at the end of the season, if you were to ask me what my top 4 of this past season would be, it would be different answers. But just looking ahead, definitely week 1, Super Bowl. Everybody can look forward to the Super Bowl, even if your team's not into it, man. It's just a good game.
It's a spectacle.
I like whatever, like anytime there's like an elimination game. You know, two teams are like 8-8, and it's like winning you're in. Week 17, week 18, whatever that.
Yeah,
that is.
absolutely.
That's a good one. And then, first divisional game of the year.
Okay,
I'd say.
All right. Well, that was my question. I just wanted to kind of get. I heard it on another podcast I was listening to, and I was like, man, that's a really good question. I'm gonna snipe that because that is. Like, everybody's is a little bit different. Nobody has the same Mount Rushmore for the NFL schedule because, like, everybody enjoys little bits and things more than
Brenner, you're
others.
crazy. A fucking preseason game on your Mount Rushmore?
Absolutely.
That's Mount Rushmore, bro.
I want you to know, I crave the Hall of Fame game every year. I crave that preseason. I crave getting to watch the third stringers fight for their lives in the third quarter to make a team. I love that.
You know what makes me sad? It's because I watched Will Grier play his heart out preseason game 3, and he got picked up by the Patriots. Didn't play a fucking game, okay? They had Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi in there.
Yeah, but there's the guys that make the team, and there's the guy like for the Vikings last year was Ivan Pace Jr., right? Like he was an undrafted free agent last year, fought through training camp, was playing in the second half of preseason games, and then by the end of the season, he was our starting middle linebacker. So like it's those guys that you get to like see start at the very bottom and claw their way all the way through the roster, make a starting spot for themselves. So that's why I love the preseason, and the Hall of Fame game kicks that off, and that's why it's on my Mount Rushmore. But we're gonna backtrack back over to the games we're excited about. And next up, Peyton comes Dome. Sean Payton comes back to New Orleans to play the Saints.
Did you just come up with that, or was that?
Well, I had it. I made it up earlier, but
that's pretty good.
Thank you.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. But I mean, as a Saints fan, you're probably like, this is probably bittersweet for you because like he did leave, like he was going to retire and then come back to go coach a better situation after he'd been with you for so long. But I'm sure you'd love to see the Saints beat him if you're a Saints fan. I doubt you're like, oh, we hope Sean Payton gets the best. Yeah, no, nobody does that. So, plus the Broncos are absolute dog trash right now. So I would imagine even the Saints get a win over the Denver Broncos.
They picked up Bo Nix, right?
The Broncos, yeah. Jared Stidham versus Bo Nix can't battle. It'll be crazy to watch. Next up is Stafford at Detroit 2. This is the third meeting between Stafford and Detroit since he left. This will be the second home game for Detroit. The last one came in the playoffs last season where Matthew Stafford lost. So, I mean, I feel like the Rams, Matthew Stafford going to have a chip on his shoulder in this one. I felt like he was very sour with how Lions fans treated him going into that game. Like, I don't remember if you guys remember any of that, but he was very loving towards the city of Detroit. And they were like, banning his jersey, booing him. And he was just like, this is crazy. Like, I don't hate the city. Like, they're showing me all this hate. So I feel like he'll have a chip on his shoulder this time around and have a little different attitude towards the city of Detroit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm over it.
You're over it? Don't care?
I don't really see much of a rivalry there, I guess.
I mean, this is the best player, in my opinion, the most iconic. Now, can't say most iconic because that's Barry, but I would say, without a doubt, the greatest quarterback the Lions have ever had, and he's coming back to play against them again. And I think that'll always be a story for them. But hey, maybe it's not a story for everybody. Next up, I have 2 games that are this kind of the same storyline. 2 games where a running back is going back to play their former team. I think you guys can guess one of them. Saquon Barkley.
Oh,
I was gonna say Saquon Barkley. That's a good. I don't even have that one. That's a good one. I don't even know.
Do they play?
I don't think they play.
That might be why. That's just the first one that came to mind. Was like,
okay.
Maybe Joe Mixon.
Saquon Barkley playing the Giants 2 times a year. Yep. Saquon has been beefing with Giants fans all over social media, saying, "Listen, like, you know, the Giants didn't even come calling. Like, they didn't even call me, so I went to the best situation for me." And he says he's loving being an Eagle. He's loving it. He's loving life. So I would expect the Eagles to have a little extra emphasis on the run game when they play New York. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe it's a smokescreen. Maybe they go pass heavy. Kind of got to go pass heavy when you have A.J. Brown throwing hissy fits on the sideline. But, you know, hey. Next up, I have Minnesota versus Green Bay. And that's Aaron Jones going back to Green Bay to play them in the Cheese House. I think, you know, it's not a huge game by any means, but it'd definitely be a big game for him. Huge game for Green Bay fans. He was kind of there after Rodgers left. He was kind of their rock and their face of their franchise for just a minute, of like the guy that they had and who they, you know, all loved. So him being in purple, of course, I love it, but they don't love it so much. So we'll see what they have to say about it come that time of year. I expect that to be a Sunday afternoon game type situation. I doubt it'll make prime time, but yeah, definitely the only way I think it makes prime time is if it gets flexed if both Minnesota and Green Bay are fighting for a playoff spot.
That's always a good divisional game I like to keep out for. I always like watching.
You cut out there for just a second. What were you saying, bub?
I said that's a divisional game I always like watching. I love watching Packers Vikings.
Yeah, always a good game. Hopefully it'll stay that way. Hopefully it's a good game for us. Next up, keeping the Vikings in mind, is Atlanta, Minnesota. I brought this one up earlier in the offseason. We did a little miniature version of this. Kirk Cousins, Mike Zimmer, coaching quarterback combo in Minnesota for about 5 seasons. Zimmer didn't want to sign Cousins. Rick Spielman did at the time, so they brought Cousins in, and it never really worked. They never really even... There were reports that, like, Kirk Cousins had to go to Mike Zimmer's office and be like, "Hey, can we please have a meeting?" And whenever your quarterback and head coach aren't on the same page, it never really works out well. So I think that'll be a fun game to watch. Then we have Pittsburgh at Denver. Obviously, Russell Wilson's return. That's an easy one. If he's even starting by then, it's kind of an up in the air thing. Drop my pen again.
I feel like he should be.
Well,
yeah, why wouldn't be, unless like there's an injury or something, maybe. But I don't know. I wouldn't start Justin Fields over him.
I wouldn't start Justin Fields over anybody, but you know, that's me. Actually, that's a lie. I would start Justin Fields over like Gus Edwards for sure. RB1 baby.
Well, apparently he might be
kick returner.
Yeah, so
bro, that would be wild. Could you imagine Justin Fields just quarterback done and he's just a kick returner now? I would be mind blown.
I'd be shocked if that happened.
I'd be so happy. I'd feel so justified. I've been telling Riley for years that Justin Fields is a glorified running back. Oh, I'd feel so good about myself. Probably won't happen though. All right, next up we have the Commanders at the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys at the Commanders. You got Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn playing the Cowboys. He was kind of the staple of that defense for the past. Has it been 5 or 6 years?
Not even.
Not even?
No, I think it's 4.
I thought it was only 3 or 4.
Okay. Either way, he was the thing that brought that Cowboys defense back, and he has built that defense and made it good. And Zimmer is inheriting all of his hard work and inheriting all his great players. You have Micah Parsons, all those good players on that defense, but Dan Quinn helped build that defense. That's his blueprint.
He was only there for 3 years.
3 years? Oh God, it feels like a lot longer than that. It feels like forever. Either way.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. I'm definitely going to be watching out for that game and watching the defenses on both teams.
Yeah, I would expect that to be a Sunday Night Football game somewhere in the season. Yep. And then you have the Bears at Commanders. And this one wasn't a thing until about a week ago, but this is battle of number 1 versus number 2. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels going head to head. That's the game, right? That's the who was right, who was wrong type thing. Now we won't actually know that for a number of years, but that'll be the storyline. You know, the Bears took Caleb Williams, who's the obvious number 1, and then Jaden Daniels comes in, puts up 300 yards on the Bears and 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns, and then Caleb Williams has 3 passing touchdowns in a row, and it's a crazy game, and everybody goes crazy. So, who knows? But it'll certainly be a storyline to watch. But that's all the games I had, unless either of you has a game off the top of your head that you're just super excited for.
Every Cowboys game.
Yeah, I'm sure. You and all of the rest of America's fandom, but I doubt it. No, just kidding. So I have one more thing.
Okay.
I had to get a drink. Parched. I'm coming off a cold over here, and throat's a little parched. I'll bring it up here on the screen. I was
gonna say you never.
You were cutting in and out there super hard, buddy.
I said you never take a sick day. I was gonna say something about that at the beginning of the podcast.
Oh, no, I was sick all day yesterday. I was laid up in bed. I didn't do much of anything, so I took a sick day yesterday, but no sick days for the podcast. Let me get the screen up here. All right. Oh, that's going to be painful. Oh, is there a better way to do this? There we go. All right, here we go. Zoom out just a little bit. Can I zoom out? There we go. All righty, here we go. So that everybody can see here, we have, these are both quarterbacks. We have quarterback A, quarterback B. Okay. So green and white. Green designates the winner. Gray is like I don't really count this because it's neutral type situation, or it's just a tie. So like the record, I don't really count that. Like quarterback wins are a stat. They are not a stat I put tons of credence in. It's not like my defining factor of a quarterback, unless it's Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, the guys who have won Super Bowls, guys who've won championships. Then it's a remarkable feat, right? But until you get to that level, it's just a record. So I'm gonna pull it up on my phone here just so I have who's who, right?
Two rookies?
No, neither of these two are rookies, and I'll give you this hint to start. One of these two took over the starting job for the other. So that's my first hint. So obviously, career games played in, they're very similar. But if you look down at the bottom, career games started is not as similar. So quarterback B is not like a full, he is a starter for the most part. But he's also come in relief quite a few times. Completion percentages are both very similar. Yards per pass attempt are both very similar. Yards per game and total yards are a little different because one guy had more attempts and completions. But percentages very similar. One guy has more passing touchdowns, less interceptions, better rating overall, in less games. Any thoughts? Any rough thoughts here?
39 interceptions.
It's a lot.
I feel like I've seen that before, but I can't place it.
You guys need another hint?
No, I mean you can give us another one if you'd like.
Yeah, give me...
I'll wait. I'll wait until you guys need one.
Yeah, go ahead. Drop one. Both
of these quarterbacks. No, I won't give that. That one's too easy. It'll give it away too early. All right, neither of these quarterbacks played in the SEC, the Big 10, or the Big 12.
That helps me zero.
I knew it would help Dalton too. I gotta start with the hints harder. I can't give the easy.
So no SEC, away. No Big 10, no Big 12.
Nope, and nope.
Okay.
One of these quarterbacks played in a national championship.
Is one of them Sam Darnold?
No.
Okay. One of them.
One
played
of
in a
these
national
quarterbacks.
championship game.
Yep, and one of these quarterbacks did play in the Pac-12.
I have no idea.
Both of these quarterbacks have had a stigma around their hairstyle and look.
Huh.
Kind of one of them's a cult following, one of them is like looked at as another guy. One of them is Trevor Lawrence.
I see. I'm looking at the quarterback record, and I just wouldn't have thought. He did have a bad season.
But which one is Trevor Lawrence?
Kyler Murray.
No, Kyler Murray. You didn't tell me.
I would guess quarterback B is Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
Quarterback A is T-Law. Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback.
So what is quarterback B like Blake Bortles or something?
It is not Blake Bortles.
Okay. Well, he didn't make a Pro Bowl. What the fuck am I thinking?
Anything?
You said that quarterback B came in for quarterback A, right?
I said one of these quarterbacks took over for the other.
So who did Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, so who did Trevor... I'm trying to remember who Trevor Lawrence took over for.
Trying to remember.
Blake
how they forget.
Bortles?
I
thought that's why I said Blake Bortles, because I was like,
not
is that
Blake
who
Bortles. It is not Blake Bortles.
Who was the quarterback for the Jags before him?
Oh, I'll give you a
So,
hint.
like,
He is scheduled to be a starter for the 2024 NFL season as of right now.
Oh shit!
If the season started today, he would be a starter.
And Trevor Lawrence took
is
over.
it like
for
Geno
him?
Smith or something?
It is not Geno Smith. Oh, I love
Oh my
this.
god, I know who it is.
Who is it?
It's Gardner Minshew.
It is Gardner Minshew.
Why couldn't I think of that, dude?
Congratulations.
This is his like third. This is his third team going to in what 2-3 years.
Yeah, I can't tell you for sure, but I mean, that's pretty crazy though, right? Like I saw this online. I was like, that's insane. I had no idea. I mean, pound for pound, I mean, those two are pretty similar. Am I wrong? I mean, you can't now Gardner's played longer. I think 2 years more, in fact, but still, I mean, in that time, they've played similar games. They've had similar numbers.
I can't believe I forgot Gardner Minshew got a Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
under him.
And I think Gardner Minshew technically has a better quarterback winning percentage.
I think so.
I'm not gonna give that to him. Like
4 teams and less interceptions.
Yeah, on less throws, in less starts. I mean, just everything.
Yeah,
everything except for yards.
Who would you take then? Who would you take? Would you rather have Minshew or Lawrence?
I mean, I'm taking T-Law. Like,
I'm taking Gardner Minshew.
See, my football X's and O's brain says take Trevor Lawrence because he's the better prospect. He has the better tools. You can work with him. He has the better pedigree. But like the fuck it in me just wants to go Gardner Minshew because the fucking Mississippi mustache. Like, let's fucking go. But you know, it's neither here nor there. Both of them were very similar. I think if I was drafting a quarterback, I would definitely take Trevor Lawrence. But Gardner Minshew is made a name for himself. Former Washington State alum. He's just kind of clawed his way through to the NFL, and he's technically the Las Vegas Raiders starter if the season started today. And looks like they did. You know, looks like that's most likely who will start for them this season.
I don't know who else they would have start for him.
Exactly. So still lots of time. Trades can happen. Crazy stuff goes down in the NFL every year. But as of right now, that'll do it. That'll do it for us. You guys got anything else you want to add to it?
Nope.
No,
go
nothing?
Stars.
Go Stars. Spoon says go Stars. All right. Well, if you made it this far into the video, like, subscribe, share us all over the place. Talk to us. Post out in the comments. We love you. We thank you. And we'll see y'all next week.
See ya.